Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers. And you're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
That's the difference between you and me. You talk about it, I do it.
Sit down, Marks.
Let me talk to you. Acknowledge me.
What's happening? What's happening, everybody? Come on in, sit down. It's time for another episode of the Sit Down Marks podcast, episode number 191, actually, of the Sit Down Marks podcast. Today, ladies and gentlemen, got a lot to talk about because we just had a real big PLE, as they call them now. No more PPV, it's PLE now. So Summerslam. So we got a lot to talk about Summerslam. So thank you guys for joining us today on sitdownmarks.com and everybody watching on Facebook as well. I want to thank everybody for listening on all those podcast platforms out there. Spotify, Apple, Audible, Amazon Music. Been getting a lot of love on Amazon Music lately. So thank you guys so much for checking us out, man. We really do appreciate it, man, on all those podcast platforms that I've been saying for over 5 years now. Yeah, Primo, man. Big one, man. Big one.
Got Primo man. What is up, Marks Mafia? We are on episode 191 on the backside of SummerSlam. Time to talk about everything that happened this weekend, as well as the aftermath on the Monday Night Raw. And I mean, can you believe that our next WWE PLE, besides Worlds Collide, isn't until October?
Yeah, I saw that too. October 10th. I was like, dang, that seems like a little farther away, thinking this is August 4th as we record this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
It's be a dead September, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, Saturday night. But, it is Money in the Bank. So, everybody kind of be chomping at the bit to, to see that one and how, that one's all going to play out. But, yeah, it does seem a little odd, But maybe that's a way to push people maybe to watch AAA more if they kind of put that one in between, if they're yearning for that WWE product. I guess that's one way to look at it. Or,
I mean, they're making Worlds Collide 2 nights and 2 locations.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, that's news to me. I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, awesome. So, all right. So, 2 of the 3 marks today. You got the OGs today. Dylan, we'll just say that he's on assignment or something like that.
He's on location on assignment.
Yeah, so he's on location on assignment, not able to join us today. So he'll be checking back in with us coming up in another podcast coming up here very soon. So make sure you wait for the return of the very much over, as he says, or as Dylan is in the independent wrestling world.
He's vibing and thriving somewhere.
Vibing and thriving. Yep, we'll get it in for him for sure. For sure. All right, let's get to it, man. If you're ready, Primo, it's hot start time. 5 topics in the world of professional wrestling. All right, topic number 1, man. I had to tune in to WWE Raw last night to see this face. Big Cass return to Raw. How are we feeling about his return, Primo? And, how do you think they'll use him this time?
So, a couple things. I don't like that he took out my boy Javon Evans. However, we just kind of talked about pre-pod a little bit. Mm-hmm. I didn't say much, but I do like the way they actually brought him in, because before Monday Night Raw, I was like, hey, man, I was telling my brother, I was like, hey, brother, Primo, brother, is, all these sightings of Enzo over the weekend. Is that a swerve? Is he going to be there tonight? He's going to be with Cass.
Right.
In the way that the way that he returned immediately squashes that. We now know. Yeah, Enzo's not back with him. It's literally just him. He looks like $1 million. He's shredded to the gills like he was in AEW. Unfortunately, it was at the expense of Javon Evans. He did say that it was not personal. He just wrong place, wrong time. But no, I mean, I'd like to see. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully he doesn't fade into obscurity.
Right.
Like kind of like Cardona's done, but
Right. Yeah.
I think that they have a good opportunity, and so does he, to do some awesome stuff here. I mean, they don't have that many giants.
Right. Boy, is he shredded this time too, man. Like
Yeah.
he is in super good shape. But I'm glad he's getting another, another chance, another crack at it, at WWE. So, they like their big guys. So, you know what I mean? And, they're gonna need people to go against Oba. You know what I mean? So, he's gonna probably fit right in there too. So
Is it scarier to have, because we're used to seeing, like, no offense to the Big Show, he's actually kind of shredded now.
right.
But back in his day, he was more of a hefty guy. Or
Mhm.
is it scarier to see a shredded giant?
I mean, it kind of is, what I
Yeah,
mean? I
you know what I
think,
mean?
'cause, yeah, I mean, you look at Andre, he's just massive, right?
Yeah.
But a dude that's actually in shape, has massive muscles, and
Right.
he cares about his body. Yeah, I think that looks pretty like he's going to destroy me and be, a large man while doing it. So, all right, Primo, let's go here. Topic number 2, brother. I want to ask you a question. Finish the sentence. Where the New Day should sign blank. Where should they go?
Oh, my heart says AEW.
Right.
I think two things. I think that AEW I think both would be good for them, TNA and AEW.
Mhm.
I think they should go to AEW though. I feel like the rivalries that they could have, and they have already had off camera with people like the Young Bucks and FTR and other folks that are over there.
Right.
They can run it with ENC over there too. Like, there's so many. I mean, the Dogs.
The most talent is there, right?
Yes, there's a lot of tag talent. The guns up. By the way, one of my favorite interests in wrestling.
Yes, sir.
I love the Guns.
It's
Gun
awesome.
Club,
It's
the
original.
Big Man Club.
Yeah, it's great.
But no, I think AEW personally. Now, Creed does have the ties to TNA, but that's like old TNA, so I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I feel like I mean, you said it right there. I feel like if they went to TNA, it would be a quick burn. They'll probably be doing more skits and that kind of stuff. And, but yeah, the most talent that they can wrestle and, to have great matches with is definitely in AEW. I think we're going to see them at All In, probably coming up pretty soon. You got to think they want that Bucks match.
Absolutely.
What I mean?
Who doesn't?
Yeah. And, they teased that thing long ago on social media when they were kind of going back and forth, right?
Absolutely.
So everybody wants to see that one. So, so I'll be interested to see what happens here pretty soon with that one. All right, Primo. Topic number 3, man. So it just came out today. Brock Lesnar was on the Pat McAfee show.
Yes.
And he's officially going to retire, he says.
I did see that.
Yeah. So he says he wanted to do it right after WrestleMania because he was thinking, I can't do this anymore.
After a slam from Oba, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, that'd make anybody want to contemplate retiring. But let's talk about Brock for a second, man. Like, you talk about your favorite title, right? Is that 2000s era
undisputed title,
the undisputed title. When I think of that title, I think of Brock, like number 1. I don't know, it just and and that just shows to me like how long he's been around, what a great athlete he was, just top tier. And I think and like I've been so up and down on Brock in his career. There's times where I loved seeing him wrestling, and there's times when that music hit and I'm like, fuck, damn it. He won the Royal Rumble we went to. I'm like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's pretty cool. We could say we were there though now.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the time we were like, oh, it's
right.
What everybody says. It's so LOL, Brock wins again.
Right. So we were there at his last Royal Rumble win, we can say.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But what do you think of when you think of Brock, man?
So I think 2 things. I think I totally think of the 2 separate WWE careers. I think early 2000s Brock, when he was facing off against Big Show and Taker and everybody else on SmackDown and running through people like the Hardys, throwing them everywhere, and then you had that, of course, that match at WrestleMania 20 against Goldberg. And then, of course, I love UFC. You like UFC. I definitely think of him there. Think of him bashing Frank Mir's head against the cage. And then when he came back, and I mean, obviously he had an even more successful career whenever he returned. But I think when I seriously think of Brock, I think dude is like a one of one. There's no other like him.
And yeah, legit badass, Minnesota national champion, how many ever times he was.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember growing up, like I think me and Brock are probably close to age. I don't know how old he is exactly, but like, just remember hearing about him, like, oh, this dude at Minnesota, like, he's a stud, that kind of stuff. And, got a little tryout in the NFL, you know what I mean? Played for the Vikings, I think, for, a small amount of time. But, I think it's probably a good send off right there for him. We'll talk more about the Oba match coming up. But yeah, I bet WWE would have liked to give him more like a video package send off kind of thing. But I think he's ready to go to the woods. So
oh yeah, I'm sure he's just ready to chill.
Yeah, but it is wrestling's gonna kind of be a little weird knowing he's gone for good. Assuming he is.
I think he was doing his best though with taking Oba under his wing.
For sure. All right, man. Topic number 4 right here. This just came down, Primo, not long right before we went live here, man. So Terry Funk's brother, Dory Funk Jr., passed away today at the age of 85. I wanted to talk about him today because this is one of the first guys. So like when Dad was showing me wrestlers, right? Like whenever I was, growing up, I remember like it was always the Funks, Dory Funk Jr. and Terry, and Gory. And, it's just like, you talk about like the, the Von Erichs, the Rhodes, the Funks are in there, and like, just I always think, man, he lived to see 85. Like that man saw wrestling change so much in his life.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Like he's the last of his kind, dude just worked his ass off, you know what I mean? And everybody wanted to be trained by the Funks. They didn't become legendary, for nothing. But you talk about like technical wrestlers, brawlers, that kind of stuff. Dory was a mix of all that, you know what I mean? And probably deserves more credit than he's gotten, honestly, you know what I mean? Because, everybody says Funk, everybody thinks Terry Ralph Bat, you know what I mean? And, but, Dory, he's like, the Hearts, that kind of stuff, just put in so much work in wrestling to make it better. He comes from an era, long time ago. I used to love seeing him at conventions and stuff like that and signing stuff because he always had that like customary, cowboy hat on. So, but I remember the Funks like in the AWA, the American Wrestling Association, that was based kind of like in the Minnesota area, all around there growing up too. And I remember it was on like ESPN growing up, and I got to see Dory Funk a lot because he was either wrestling on there or talking about something a lot. So, but wrestling is a lot better place because of Dory Funk Jr. for sure. All right, next up, Primo, final one, number 5, man. So let's talk about AEW, man. Like, what do we think is Kenny as champ? I don't think we took July off with flagships because Summer and Kenny won during that time. But I like this run this time. Like it feels more like he's back, from the surgery and the injuries. And I love this feud with MJF. But how you feeling about Kenny as the champ this time around?
Great. I was excited for him when he won it, and he's one of the guys in AEW that I make sure that I pay attention to when when his entrance hits my screen. So I was excited, like I said, when he won, and I also think that it was kind of important for him to get it because he can pass that torch to Ospreay whenever they go to Wembley.
Yeah. Let's talk about that because I don't have anything in that. Would that, I feel like maybe, is there like another Cody situation here? You know what I mean? Or you think 100% like Will's going to win, or is it going to be one where he gets to the mountain and loses and then comes all the way back again? You know what I mean?
I don't. So based on since he returned from neck injury and his battle with the Death Riders to join the Death Riders, and now he's outed from the Death Riders again because he left them, and then even Kenny kind of attacked him last week. So he's it's kind of built up so much,
right,
that he needs to win in front of his home country.
Yeah, and boy, are they gonna be clamoring for it. You know what I mean? They could really I don't know. They could really pull the rug out from under them.
That's true, and it's true. They say you
mean?
you don't win at home, so
right.
Until you do, you know what
right.
I mean? So
right,
like Chad Gable, but whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I am really looking forward to that one though.
It's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, it is gonna be a banger, and I feel like it might be like a Okada Omega 1 hour.
And that's another thing. Kenny has looked. He's been in great shape. He's coming back from diverticulitis.
Yeah,
he's looking better than ever.
I will say, in the exception of the cleaner era, because that's just my favorite Kenny Omega. I love this one. He is just, he's hitting on all cylinders. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like he's just going a little bit harder. Maybe he's had a little perspective since the surgeries and stuff. But we'll see. But that's going to do it for the hot start, brother. But before we move on, let's get a little city shout out going on. Let's find out who it's going to be. Drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, and they've been shooting up the ranks here lately, Primo, coming up in kind of hanging around our top 10 cities out on the West Coast, man. The City of Angels, Los Angeles,
really
giving us some love. Yeah,
damn,
I was shocked kind of myself too. I don't know why, but yeah, we usually don't get much love, but I think some people found out about us over there in the West Coast in Los Angeles. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, LA. Appreciate that.
Yeah. I'll never pull for your Lakers, but otherwise, you guys are doing just fine. Otherwise, in sports, but Los Angeles is always a fun city. I have visited there before, but yeah, just want to give a shout out to Los Angeles. Say thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. And thanks for continuing to give us some support. So thanks a lot, guys. All right, with that, let's move on to the dropkick discussion, which is SummerSlam. But before we do, let's hear a word from one of our very first guests on the podcast, Mr. Big Beef.
This is Big Beef, and you're tuned in to Sit Down Marks with AJ, Dirty Bird, and you know him, Primo. Check it out.
Classic.
Yeah, it is. I love how back in those days, I'd take those sound bites anywhere and you hear people bumping in the background on the mat.
That's great.
Yeah, back in the old days, back in the hustling days.
That's right.
It was awesome, man.
Tiny podcast. He was our first guest.
That's right. He was. Yeah. We ended up making a 2-parter, I think, didn't we? Because we talked a lot, but right, guys, let's get into it. SummerSlam, US Bank Arena, Minneapolis, Minnesota, home of the Minnesota Vikings. Night one, probably the lesser of the nights, if you ask me, but there was some pretty good matches on this one. What'd you think about the setup, Primo? It kind of looked like a little bit like a belt, championship belt, kind of, right?
Talking about the
stage setup.
Yeah.
SummerSlam, yeah.
I think it looked pretty good. I agree with it looking like a belt.
Like I just kept feeling like it just looked like a belt.
You're
to me,
talking,
kinda.
yeah, because it looked like I was thinking the same thing, but I thought I was going crazy because it kind of did look like the outline of the WWE Championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just felt like it did, and I love the Viking logos and stuff that they were popping up through there. I thought that was dope as hell.
Yeah, and they had that text that looked like it was like chiseled out of stone.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was the right time period for Vikings, but
Sure.
no, I'm not picky like that. But I will say I texted you guys early on Saturday when I started watching it, saying like, outdoor shows always hit different, not realizing it wasn't an outdoor show.
Right.
It was just a big ass window.
Yeah, it's a big ass window. Yeah, that's the way it kind of is at the Falcon Stadium too. Like it's a dome and it's covered, but the windows on the side like let a whole lot of air and light in. So
yeah,
I was going to say that too. I'm not a big fan of the ones that look like daytime shows, but I think what I came out of this thing more than anything is was the ads. The Street Fighter, Gears of War.
Oh yeah,
the
Wingstop steel chair,
Wingstop stuff.
Slim gym table.
I'm like, man,
me and my brother were actually making. We're like, oh, he's gonna hit him with the lemon pepper seasoned Wingstop steel chair.
Yeah, Slim Jim tables that Lil Yachty can't even go all the way through. Like, what are we doing here? But yeah. All right, let's jump into it, brother. Let's go. Opening match of night one was Liv versus Io Sky for Liv's Women's World Championship. Liv did end up retaining here. I think these two just have like beautiful chemistry, man.
Yes.
Like they could wrestle all the time, and it would be awesome. You know what I mean? I think this was the right move. I hated the first match having interference. I would have liked to seen just kind of like, you know what I mean? But I understand they kind of have to because that's what Judgment Day's.
Yeah.
MO is
their MO,
yeah.
I agree that, and I think this was a great call for an opener. It was a banger, even though it did end in it ended with all that interference, but and Liv going over, but we figured out why on Monday. And no, I thought this match was great. They had a couple excellent sequences where I think Liv went for she went for the her finisher, and then Io went for the Liv's finisher. Like it was crazy. And then anyway, this was a great match.
Yeah, and I love this being the opener. I was like, heck yeah. Trot them out there. Io, I knew it was going to be good right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? So match number 2 was the Usos and Jacob Fatu versus Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa. The BFT for the win on Jay. I love the sell on Jay. He basically stood on his head.
On his head, vertical.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. My notes were LA is so over. That dude has I think he got the biggest pop of the night, maybe the biggest pop of the weekend.
The megastar.
Yeah. Gears of War, the Fatu mask, I thought that was,
I will say it was real subtle because besides being on his mask, I didn't realize until halfway through the match that it was also on the Usos gear.
Mm-hmm.
The little gear symbol.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a request of theirs that it had to be like not so obvious.
Right.
But I think that another thing about this match was just the crowd is eating up babyface Solo.
Mm-hmm.
He is so funny.
He's funny, dude.
He is very funny.
The best part of the match was when he ran the yeet back.
Yeah,
that, like that's smart. Like, you know what I mean?
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's good shit. Match number 3 was Gunther versus Aldis. Gunther wins by sleeper. Yep, the National Treasure making his debut and retirement match maybe in WWE all in one night.
Yeah. So I thought it was weird because when he came out, I mean, obviously he got a fantastic pop, and he still looks like $1 million.
Don't he?
But when they come out, they have the little facts on the side of like he won. He's a former TNA Tag Team Champion, former TNA World Champion.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, but when he was the National Treasure, he was NWA champ, and they didn't put that up there. But then right after that went away, Michael Cole mentioned it, that he was the NWA champ.
Mm-hmm. Which I thought was cool then, was I was like, all right, well, they're not even going to mention NWA. You know what I mean? They're not going to acknowledge it. But I was like, all right, cool. All right, 2026. I'll take it. This match felt short, and long at the same time, kind of to me. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I wasn't super happy with it, but I felt like I was just kind of watching all this, just see, you know what I mean? I just felt, you know what I mean? But
you could tell whenever he got real blown up, but who wouldn't?
yeah, right. I know. I mean, the dude like had to soak all that up and then go wrestle, and he hasn't wrestled in so long. But let me tell you, brother, I'm a big Oasis fan.
Oh yeah.
If you've listened to the list, our side project, I think Oasis was like number 3 or 4 on my list, dude. Like, I popped so hard for that when I heard the first couple notes of that song. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like,
that was sick.
It was sick, man. It was very cool. I always loved it too. I'm like, heck yeah, man. I'm like, it just, like that. Oasis is the UK. You know what I mean? Like, they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you heard Wade Barrett marking out for it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He was going nuts.
It's fantastic, dude. Match number 4 was Fatal Influence versus the Bellas and Paige. Fatal Influence wins here. I felt like Paige looks a little, I don't know, man. Like, maybe she should be wrestling or something. She just looks a little unhealthy to me at the moment. I don't know. Like, she needs to go to the gym. Maybe that's the best way to say it. I don't know. She just looks.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, she just looks like kind of small. You know what I mean? And just, but I know they kind of got to do this like little nostalgia tour for Bells and and Paige or whatever. But JC Jane, I feel like, come out looking like a star. She's going to be such a good heel. In the women's division. But what do you think?
So, and that's what I was going to say. Regardless of, it's just weird seeing, and no offense to the Bellas and Paige, they were great during their time, but it's kind of weird seeing the Divas in the ring with the Divas era wrestlers, I should say, in the ring with the current women's roster, because like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it is weird.
It feels like,
But then at the same time, I think this was the right move for Fatal Influence to go over. They have been on fire since they came to SmackDown, and they are an actual team versus the Bellas and Paige. For some reason, they're aligned, but no, I thought Fatal Influence. And yeah, you're right. She came out in the Shawn Michaels get up, the hat. So cool.
Yeah. And then the Bellas turned on, Paige, which that's probably the right move. Like, get them the hell away from Fatal Influence. Let them fight each other. Somebody leaves town match or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we'll be happy.
And then it turns out, I think Brie actually had her shoulder hurt too.
She did. Yeah. But it's still cool. Don't get me wrong. It's still cool when the Bellas music hits and when they come out. But man, once that bell rings, that's when I'm like, ugh. All right, I'm good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Never really cared.
Yeah. Match number 5, Cody versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship. We'll start at the top though. Cody's Street Fighter entrance with the Guile,
the Guile haircut,
on the skull. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, my immediate reaction was to clown on it. But you're right. It did grow on me, that hair grew.
Yeah,
but I think it was pretty cool, and then especially it grew on me so fast. His gear did that when he got into the ring. I saw that he had Air Force emblems on his jacket, and I told my brother, "Okay, I'm sold," because I was obviously in the Air Force. So
yeah, right.
I was like, "Okay, the gear's cool now."
Where Punk misses Cody and hits the table, that was pretty gnarly. Like, he looked like it hurt.
And when he kind of went squirreling on the moonsault,
yeah,
that
looked like it hurt. But RKO, Randy shows up, hits Cody with an RKO. Punk doesn't see it, kind of thing. GTS retains the title. Crowd seemed a little dead in this match more than they should have been until they saw Randy, and then it was on.
Yeah, I thought it was obviously it's a co-main,
right?
But I saw it's kind of a weird spot to be because like if you're there, that the Hell in a Cell match is next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a little spicy. It almost seems like they should have, I love Liv and Io, but it almost seems like they should have opened with this kind of.
That might have been a good idea.
Yeah. Just because if we're going home with the Hell in a Cell match, but all right, let's get to it, buddy. Let's talk about main event night 1, Hell in a Cell. I was a little shocked when I found out this, but Brock's a Minnesota guy. They're going, he's retiring now, so it kind of makes sense. They want to do this pass the torch thing, which I want to talk about that here in just a minute because I just feel like a idiot watching it. But so Hell in a Cell, I love this slugfest, right? Big man stuff. What Oba kick out of I think 3 F5s is what I put down
at least
here. Yeah. But I mean I know this was like an Oba passing the torch feature match, but so what I kind of keep going back to is Oba gave up a title shot to be able to, because he won the King of the Ring, right?
Yep.
To go beat Brock again. So, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I guess it's enough, you know what I mean? But like, I just don't know why that would make sense in a modern day world of wrestling.
But, no, it doesn't quite make sense at all. But yeah, keep going.
And another thing too is like, and I know I want to, say I know that WE like thinks that we're like idiots. Like, did they really need Brock to say I'm the past, he's the future?
Right.
And he said it twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no.
He said it, make sure we can hear it.
Yeah, right. I know. All you gotta do is just like raise his hand. He's beat you twice. You know what I mean? Like, we get it now. Like, yes, we already know this. You don't have to say it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, say something like I'm retiring or something, like, you know what I mean? But I just felt like we could see this already, you know what I mean? But I mean, the match was pretty good. A few little small spots, you know what I mean? But they're big men. It's going to happen. I'm never a fan of usually anything when they start tearing up showing the guts of the ring. You know what I mean? I'm usually not a big fan of that, but there has been some spots that I've enjoyed, but he kicked out of the Tombstone Pile Driver, on the board or whatever.
On the exposed board,
what I mean? Yeah, I'm like, God, they're making like, Oba he can never fall down from a punch. Like, he better not ever sell a punch ever. You know what I mean? I was like, damn. But I mean, otherwise, you know what I mean? Like, it was okay. It was all right.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I don't think they needed Hell in the Cell.
It didn't really feel like it, did it?
No, I didn't. Like, we were talking, me and my brother were talking about during the match. Like, I'm sitting here like, man, for this being a Hell in a Cell match, they're not really using the Hell in the Cell part. They did a couple spots where he slammed him into this cage, but that's it. Like, beyond that, it was pretty much not necessary to have the heck in the sec, as we say here in the Primo household.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was cool. The exposed boards, when Brock when he landed from that fall from grace and looked at the exposed boards, everybody's thinking like, well, did Oba miss?
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But no one knows, obviously.
Right. Yeah. All right, man. The Smelly Mark, night 1, 1 to 10. What'd you think?
1 to 10. The banger at the opening, the match from Aldis, like just getting to see him wrestle in WWE was cool. And the Randy Orton returning, CM Punk retaining, and just to having a gimmick match on night 1. So I think, honestly, I'll give it an 8.
Okay. Yeah, I'm right there close to you. I'm going 7. I really love that. Really love the opener. Yeah, all this popped me. Randy coming back was good. Night 2, brother. Let's jump in. Night 2, WWE SummerSlam, number 1 contenders match. Kick this thing off. Newly reinstated GM Nick Aldis adds Gunther to the number 1 contender match, and then he also adds your brother to the match.
He sure did.
Kevin Owens. Man, did I love hearing that
popped
music,
hard for that, man.
God, yes. I was like, this is how you start.
Yes, we were going crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, this is how you start. And what's funny is like, I was like, hell yeah. I had like a moment with my son because Kevin Owens come out, we're watching it, and like he hasn't seen Kevin Owens in a while.
Yeah.
He's got a Kevin Owens action figure, but I just haven't seen him play with him quite a while. It's in the pile, right? You know what I mean? Kevin comes out and he goes, my son looks, he goes, Kevin Owens. And I looked over at him like, oh my God, he's popping too. Like, this is fantastic. Like,
that is amazing.
Man, he blew the roof off
about.
that place, man. It was great. I know, right? Yeah, it really is. But getting the stunner and getting the win, you know what I mean, here. And all of a sudden he's number one contender. And man, am I here? Do they have me for Punk and KO now?
Oh, yeah. They're finally going to have that singles match. So coming into this match, obviously I wanted Finn to win. I really wanted Finn to win. Yeah. Even whenever Aldis called out Gunther, I still wanted Finn to win. I was like, okay, well, this is going to be a little harder for Finn, but I still want him to win. And then my brother came out. And I was like, oh, well, that changes things.
Sure.
So, but they was still, KO and Finn 1 and 2, and as far as my opinion went, and that KO ended up winning, which is pretty awesome. And I feel bad for Finn, but his time will come. I feel like it's one of those things where he's back in that main event, shuffle. So he's not, you know what I mean? So he's going to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got to get in the mix. He's got to have like some sort of pissed off attitude, after this about finally getting there and not, I thought about this the other day. I was like, remember back in the old days in NWA, they had a world heavyweight champion. They had a junior heavyweight champion. If we still had a junior heavyweight champion, Finn would be awesome at that, man.
Oh, yeah.
He could, you know what I mean? Like, I'd love to see him run forever. Anyway, that's kind of a side note, but match number 2, U.S. title, Trick Williams versus the returning Baron Corbin. I'll say, Primo, I didn't see this one coming. I really didn't.
I thought that if they didn't do this, then what's the point of him coming back?
True. Yeah. I didn't even think of it like that. I was just kind of thinking, okay, here's another guy that's come back that they just signed. It's kind of like from another era, and this is going to be kind of like the Trick's going to beat him. This is going to be another way to kind of like keep elevating. But also, I wasn't mad at it because it's kind of a good way to get the title off Trick.
Exactly.
To move on. Yeah.
And Baron needs that heat because, like in MLW and Bloodsport and stuff like that, he was known as more of a badass, like more of a, no frills, just whoop your ass kind of guy.
Roughneck. Yeah.
And so he needs that. And otherwise, I feel like if he would have came in and lost this match, then they would be just right back to bum ass Baron Corbin that he was before, Yeah.
They got to present him a little better this time, I guess, if they're going to build him up. Man, why can't we go back to the Lone Wolf music, though? You know what I mean?
I agree with that, though.
I didn't like this new one, maybe wrote one, but it just seemed it's a little like, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, well. And can we be done with a little Yachty now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Duke can't even go to a table right. Like,
maybe. He's the one celebrity I haven't minded. He's been a decent little addition to Trick Williams. But even with the glittery kendo stick, or Singapore cane, depending on where you're from.
Yeah,
I think he's fine. He doesn't show up all the time,
right?
And but no, I agree with you. He didn't even have enough ass to go to the table.
Match number 3 sounds like Rhea's going to be out for a while, so we have to get us a new interim champ. Never too big a fan of interim, but man, when something happens like what happened at this SummerSlam, man, I'm all in. This match was, Tiffany, Lash, Charlotte, Jade Cargill, Chelsea. I believe that's everybody, right? It's a 5-way. Yeah, 5-way. Yep. Matt Cardona sitting front row.
Hell yeah.
Man,
Biggest fan of his wife.
yeah, man, everybody loves Chelsea, man. Like that was a fucking awesome. Like I love how she just kind of like came back to life. You know,
Yeah.
it's cheesy, but whatever. You know what I mean? But man, but yeah, anytime Chelsea gets a championship or some kind of accolade, I'm like, man, she deserves it because man, that chick puts so much work into her character work. Her facial expressions. Just watch her entrance. Watch her watch what she does. Just walking to the ring. Like you're getting 4 or 5 different poses. She's eyeballing fans. She's making interactions. She's being funny. She's looking sexy. She's looking like an athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking gets it, man. Like holy shit. You know what I mean? She could like. Yeah, it was great, man. I was always love to see her, like, and she might lose it this Friday at SmackDown, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't even be mad, you know what I mean? But like, she's a high level performer, man. She, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So at this point in the match, especially after she won, my brother said, so they're basically just doing fan service for me, Primo, tonight, because so far at that point, everything I wanted had happened. And as far as KO returning in. But no, Chelsea winning was amazing. When she was hanging upside down, I was just telling my brother that I was like, man, the core strength that she's gonna need to do a sit-up is gonna be crazy, but I have a feeling that's what she's gonna do eventually. Yeah. She was there a minute.
It was just laying there like dead. Just,
and like then on top of that, like I text you guys, and it's not often I do it, but I was rooting for Charlotte or Chelsea. Obviously, I wanted Chelsea to win, but I was also rooting for Charlotte because I absolutely did not want Jade to win.
Yeah,
and I just didn't think I knew Lash wasn't going to win just yet. She's great. I have nothing against her. I said to my brother that she belongs in the TV show Xena Warrior Princess, fighting Xena because she's like an Amazon woman.
Yeah,
But and then Tiffy doesn't need another title; she has the U.S. Championship. So
right,
I was like, dude. So I just didn't think they were going to pull the trigger on Chelsea. So that's why I was rooting for Charlotte. And then when they did, man, I was hyped. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And it was like we knew she was, as soon as she sit up, you know what I mean? It was like, there's nobody around, like nobody. Everybody's dead. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that was good stuff, man. So I was happy to see that. Match number 4, Human Monies on a Pole match. Danhausen versus Dominic. JD McDonough, man, that dude is just, man, God, that dude can just bump his ass off. He just makes everything fun. Everything just looks so good. We saw the mini Housens. We saw the return of Torito Housen. Hendry interferes, but also Danhausen gets the win. I didn't see the money. I didn't ever pay attention to the money, so I think I ran to the bathroom as soon as he won. But they said he was throwing the money to the crowd. I don't know if it was like real money.
Pretty sure it was fake money with Danhausen's face on it.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. I thought it was kind of funny. What'd you think about this one, man? Any good?
I mean,
good comedy spot.
Yeah, it's a good comedy spot. Good little breather. And I don't have a problem, but I'm still a big fan of Dom. And you're right about JD. What's funny is JD, he had a picture, posted a picture of him choke slamming one of the minis, and he said this must be what Oba feels like. There was a comedian. I think he ended up being one of the mini Housens, and he was there. You're right. Torito Housen was there, and so they keep having these mini Housens.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it anymore. It was funny the first couple times, and I still think Danhausen's funny, but I thought this was going to be the payoff for whatever he had on that bed under the sheet. But I guess not. Unless that was supposed to be the cat like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. All right. Match number 5. So Penta versus Chad Chad Gable for the Intercontinental title. Now, storybook and storyline ending probably for Chad. You know what I mean? Like, he's coming back home. We're coming off this El Grande Americano, storyline, where he lost his mask. Fans are kind of like back behind him again. He's got new music. He's trying to do this clap thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was hoping they'd pull the rug and let Penta win and, have him keep building too. You know what I mean? But they didn't. They gave it to him. You know what I mean? But, anything Chad gets, he deserves, man. Hard worker. Matches are great, but, I just feel like he's good to chase. I just don't know about his champion. Like, it just doesn't feel like it could be anything long term. He needs to be creative somehow.
He needs to come out with the 3 eyes and just
fucking.
You know what I'm saying? Just start doing that.
Sure.
Just being like, you need to be this way. This is the way a champion is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Right.
I thought it was cool. Obviously they put on a great match, but also like, like we said earlier, it's not often that you get to win in front of your home crowd, and he did it right there. And I realized on Monday, I never realized this before, but the clap thing he's doing is kind of like the Minnesota Vikings skull that they do.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, with the music. All right, that makes a little more sense now.
Although I hate his new music, but whatever.
Me too. It's not good, man. Let's find something else to go with that. Just come out to the damn Viking song first. I don't care.
Right.
Let me ask you this though, man. Let me tell you this though. I expected a little more out of this match, honestly. Like I kind of thought they would go a little bit harder, but is what it is. But I love this match, the IC title going on right before the World Championship title. That's the way it used to be back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like when, if it's like the secondary title, I like on PLEs, it being the match right before, the undisputed title or whatever, or world championship, something like. I like that. I noticed it back in that spot, and I was like, man, that's awesome. I don't know if they're doing it by design, but it's kind of like a nod to the way they used to do the cards in the old days. So I thought it was pretty cool. But don't get me wrong, I love a good 5-way scramble Intercontinental title match to kick off a card too. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
I'll take it like the hot opener. But all right, Primo. It's time to get to the big one, my friend.
Yes.
Match number 6, night 2, SummerSlam. The big one, the big payoff, the biggest storyline WWE had ingrained, I guess, going for years and years.
My favorite one.
Yeah. The last time these guys linked up in a match was when 22
we were there.
Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And so these guys haven't touched really in about 4 years in a match, and we were there. That's how long this story's kind of been burning. But here we are, man. So Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. I just told you that this is the biggest storyline left in WWE. 2 guys drenched in WWE from the beginning. We know the Shield history. Since the breakup, Roman hasn't been able to defeat Seth. Until tonight, obviously, but so many callbacks. I love how they didn't make it about just themselves. I love how they, still acknowledged that Dean was a part of this group. You know what I mean?
Oh,
With
yeah.
the mask and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. I love wrestling can be petty. You know what I'm saying? And like, it really can, when it comes to, so I'm glad that not because this guy is a top guy over in AEW, we're just act like he don't exist or something. You know what I mean? But I like this, man. Yeah, this was cool.
We can't pretend that he's like that. Moxley's still not their boy.
Right.
So,
for sure. Yeah. But I'm glad they didn't just ignore it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah.
But I like that. I talk about the callbacks. The Fossies. There were some no sales a lot in this match, but I feel like they were kind of timely placed. But a great physical matchup. 2 WWE professionals. If you ask me, probably the top 2 at the top of the mountain in that business or in that company. Just working at a high level. This match delivered, man. You know what I mean? And it had to, you know what I mean? And it absolutely did. You know, you ask me, they had the fans eating out of the palm of their hands. That's what I loved a lot about it, is they were hanging on to every move, falsy, you know what I mean? Just, you know, two professionals getting it done. You know, ended up being 3 spears that got the job done for Roman to complete the story, you know. But I mean, I'm watching this, you know, and like I'm just like, you know, this is a high level match, you know what I mean? This is 2 top guys, you know, top of their game, top of their peak of popularity. You know, there's a huge story ingrained, you know. This is wrestling, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't get much more than that. Like there's, you know, it literally had everything, you know what I mean? And so Cole is already saying, like, you know, this is over, you know, Roman has completed, he's finally, you know, this chapter of the story, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to see what happens next. But as far as this goes, man, like this has got to be, I think, probably a top 10 SummerSlam match ever, you know what I mean? With everything going on in it, I mean, I don't see how you don't put it in there, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
But you know, for WWE, man, like I felt like this was like top tier, man. Like I just thought this was good shit, man. I want to leave the floor open to you, Primo, too, here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I know you're a Seth guy. I watched it with a more of a, you know, kind of like, you know, I just want to see him fucking just get, you know, have a hell of a match and just complete the story. I don't, you know, like he could have went either way and I'd probably been happy, but you know, you're a Seth guy, so I want to see what you're feeling during this.
Well, I mean, I like them both, but obviously Seth is my number one. He's the GOAT. But this story, you said it could be, you know, wrestling can be petty, but wrestling can also obviously be poetic. And this is obviously a testament to that. They were able to finish their long-standing story of, you know, brotherhood that they've had since the Shield days. It's my favorite story, or it was my favorite story in wrestling. I've put their rivalry up there against Austin Rock, you know, for the great matches and memories that they've had and given us. And this match was awesome. And also it made Seth look strong as hell. And that's another thing I've always said, was these two can be separated and doing their own thing, and Roman can be like a god amongst the rest of the roster. But as soon as these two wrestle, they're brothers and they're equals.
Yeah.
So they're on equal footing. And, you know, normally you could say that Seth could wrestle circles around Roman, but there's a lot of factors in there. And it was cool to see Seth do the spear and Roman do the stomp. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then, you know, I thought there were only a couple things I had like some criticism about, which was it was not a falls count anywhere or no DQ match, and they were in the crowd for like a few minutes,
right?
Without a count out.
DQ.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he hit him with a damn freaking post that holds the damn barrier. So I was like, this is the second Roman match like in a row where there was a weapon used in a no DQ match, and the ref's just like, oh yeah, it's Roman, so we'll just stop. Right. And which I don't care because I like Roman, but I just think it's funny how like the rules get forgotten. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they come back in towards the ring and Charles Robinson starts counting.
Right, I know, yeah.
Or whoever it was that was the ref, I don't remember. But
he counts to 100.
Yeah, I was like, okay, but beyond that, great match, great ending to the match as far as the aftermath, where you're right, where I didn't expect that. I did not expect Roman to do the fist and for them to have that moment. And obviously they put the mask down in the middle, and even the callbacks to Ambrose Moxley. When he did the rope thing off the ropes, I was like, oh, did you see the look? And then right after that, Roman did the DDT. So I thought it was cool. The whole thing was cool. It also is very sad. I could watch this story forever.
Sure. You know, I mean, it's never really over, is it? I mean, they'd
I
have to
know.
do something to spark it, but they're going to look at each other at some point again.
That's why I'm like, you're telling me these guys are never gonna wrestle again?
Yeah, no way, dude. Yeah. Oh man, good stuff. All right, let's smelly mark night 2, man. What'd you think about night 2?
Night 2 for me was probably more of a 9. I liked it way better.
Sure.
I said earlier, my brother was just saying that was pretty much fan service for me.
Yeah. I'll go like an 8. I love the main event, KO coming back. That's plenty enough. But let's talk attendance real quick. So night 1 was more attended, 35,759 people versus night 2, 32,293 for a grand total of 68,052. I'm kind of surprised by that. Maybe that's because night 1's on a Saturday. I'm guessing, night 2 Sunday.
Oh yeah.
But night 2 is obviously the better card,
Yeah. I mean, 2 things about that I actually have comments about. Number 1, did you see the pictures of hard cam side seats?
Yes.
Being empty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what it is. I mean,
Sure.
Also it's like, I don't know why we're doing a stadium for this. So, I mean, it's not quite WrestleMania, but
Right.
you know what I mean? Also, I say something I did appreciate and I vocalized was both nights and this East Coast time, I was done by 9:00.
Yeah.
Or around
those early
9
start
o'clock.
times were nice.
Those and they're only 3 hours. I was like, this is awesome. I'm not up till midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I stayed up Monday night watching the main event of that one, trying not to fall asleep.
I was up later for Raw than I was for SummerSlam.
I know. Let's get to Raw, man, because I always like to talk about how companies will follow up. Well, I guess WWE really follow up Monday Night Raw, the show after a big pay-per-view. But so they were in Des Moines, Iowa. We didn't get any Seth Rollins, which not a big deal, but Iowa, I think they get a little Seth. But WWE must have listened to the crowd because LA Knight got to come out and cut off Roman in the opening segment. So it's kind of a big deal. They're touching stuff there. We had Big Cass return to attack Javon. It doesn't, at the moment, it doesn't feel like Enzo's coming. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it seems like a single run. You know what I mean? But he's at Performance Center or been seen there or something like that.
Yeah, that's what's confusing.
So, yeah. So, maybe they'll do both singles or maybe they'll just bring Enzo back as just his manager or something, maybe, Becky and Stephanie Vaquer return. So they got some pretty good pops. What do you think?
I asked my wife if she thinks I'd look good in that bodysuit that Stephanie was wearing.
Oh man, she's pulling it off though for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Oba Paul Heyman kind of teaser there?
Interesting. I mean, I don't think Oba needs anybody.
I don't either.
Personally.
Man, I know that in wrestling they're scripted, you know what I mean. But man, he delivers a promo. Really
he does fine,
dude.
but he's impactful. He's great. He has good cadence. Like everything about his promos is great.
Right. I wrote down that Chad Gable's song still sucks after hearing it again, and so does Baron Corbin's. I looked that one up on iTunes. I think I was like, yeah, that's all, man. But yeah, so I have a lot of friends in the Iowa area, man, and they went to Monday Night Raw last night, and they were all texting me on the way out of there talking about what a shitty Raw what they thought it was for being after. They want to see Seth first of all, but they're like, man, they sent us home on Fatu and Royce Keys, like a street fight. You know what I mean? Like, but also my friends there are kind of over the bloodline a little bit too. So, and it was kind of like almost a bloodline invigoration because Roman came back out and gave Fatu the nod, yeah, you're doing the family's work now, you know what I mean? Kind of deal, so, but, I always feel like too, especially with this match, it was a big match with Roman and Seth, right? And you had a ton of probably casual fans tuning in, you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you try to hook them a little more on Monday night? You know, like I always think like it's such a letdown when you have such a good pay-per-view and then you follow Monday up with just kind of mediocre, you know what I mean? Like I always feel like that's the time to reel them in. You're like, oh shit, you know, I can't wait till next Monday, you know what I mean? Or, you know, or Friday or whatever. But yeah, I think they could have, I don't know, maybe went with something else there. But I mean, I don't know what, but I don't know. I don't understand that. It's like I just feel like they should be, you know, knocking it out of the park after.
I mean, I agree. Like you know, after you're right. After you got them hooked,
right?
Why not try to keep them and give them something to you know, to be like, okay, you know, this is pretty cool. Let's keep tuning in.
Like I had faith that that was going to be like a banger, you know, last night.
Let's see what happened. I mean? Becky came back. Cass came back.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't see KO. I would have liked to maybe seen him. I thought maybe we'd see him, but I don't know if he's SmackDown.
Well, he's the number one contender for the SmackDown Championship.
There you go. That's right. Yeah.
And also, oh yeah, speaking of that, I don't know if you paid attention to some of the posts SummerSlam panels where CM Punk was like taking shots at Raw.
Yeah, I saw that. Like
he said, "I'll wrestle over there. They need the ratings boost."
I'm like, are you setting up for War Games, Raw versus SmackDown?
Good one. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So far away.
Yeah. I just feel like, you know, all right, while you're in the press conference, make sure you know, throw a little shot over at Raw, you know, since we got War Games coming over, you know, or something. But but overall, man, like I thought it was pretty good. Like this SummerSlam, you know, it had a lot. It had a huge match. We had returns. You know, we had the Aldis, you know, thing going on there. Yes. You know, so I thought it was pretty good all the way around.
There was stuff I actually looked forward to.
Mm-hmm.
There were some surprises that I actually was surprised for. You know, I wanted them to happen, but I wanted them to happen all year. So just, you know, to see Randy come back finally and KO to finally return was, you know, awesome, obviously.
Yep.
But they're all, you know, just the matches. I was looking forward to both World Championship matches.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I definitely like out of those two, I especially wanted Cody to lose.
Yeah. I'm definitely watching more AEW these days than WWE, but like I feel like after watching SummerSlam, like they do have me back a little bit more, you know what I mean? Now, so because you know KO and Punk, I want to watch that, you know what I mean? So I kind of been spot picking, you know what I'm saying? But you know we'll see how they do moving forward. So, all right, Primo, that's going to do it for the drop kick discussion, brother. It's time to take us home, man. Let's hear a little word from referee Dan Perch.
This is referee Dan Perch, and come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
We'll remind everybody to follow at Sit Down Marks. Go subscribe to sitdownmarks.com and go follow Sit Down Marks podcast on Instagram. I want to remind you, too, that Volume 12 of Dreamwave Prelude is available right now. I'm going to be dropping another one coming up here in about 2 weeks with a featured match from the Psycho Silo Saloon match at Dreamwave's No Escape. So make sure you tune over and head over there and tune into that. But what's coming up on the podcast, we got a full slate of podcasts coming up for you. The summer kind of lull is a little bit over now. It's going to be cranking it back up for you. Next week, I'm going to be dropping a brand new Dibby Titty, as Primo says.
Dibby Titty.
DB's Territory Treasures. I'm going to be talking about 1980s and 90s NWA, WCW talent enhancement, George South. So make sure you tune and check that one out. As we talked about, volume 13 of Prelude is going to be coming as well. So make sure you subscribe, sitdownmarks.com. And thanks for subscribing to us on all your favorite podcast platforms. It's going to be a busy month, so we got more coming up for you here later this month. And we'll get you out of here on this, Primo. Not long before we went live, brother, they announced the location of the 2027 Royal Rumble, and it's going to be back in Arizona at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium. I think it's Glendale. Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Scottsdale.
Yeah, Scottsdale. There you go. Yeah. Scottsdale. So 2027 headed back there. I mean, shoot, that's 6-7 months from now.
That's
but
not that long. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the last time they had it in Arizona, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was at the Diamondback Stadium, because I remember they had a really long entrance and they came out of the dugout.
Could have been.
I think that might have been Edge's big return.
May have been.
Yeah, it's kind of what I feel like. But what do you think about Arizona? First of all, I'm happy it's on our soil. So
absolutely,
if I
number
maybe
one,
get a wild hair and go or something. But yeah, at least it's over there. But Arizona, good host. They get
not
get
a bad
Super
spot
Bowls.
to be in January.
It's true. It's true. I was gonna say, yeah, definitely a warm climate. So that'd be a nice one. So let's throw out a prediction right now. See how we're gonna do. We're 6-7 months from now. I'm gonna let you think about it for a second, but I feel like if I had to pick somebody right now in August the 4th, 2026, who's going to win the Royal Rumble, I'm going to say LA Knight. I'm going to say they're going to shrug him off, keep him in the mid card, and then 2027 starts a big run for him. So who are you thinking off the top of your head?
LA Knight's a great choice.
Yeah.
And that one was one I'm thinking of. And like we said, somebody is in the shuffle. So I'm going to go ahead and say it, that Finn Balor is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And I feel like Alexa Bliss is going to need a repackage, like you're going to have to put stock back in her again at some point, give her another run. So give me her to maybe sneak and steal one. Maybe if you hadn't before this weekend, I maybe would have said Chelsea, but now I'll probably
go. You know what? Give me new mama Naomi returning.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And then Bianca comes back, new mama. Yeah. She can, they can have. All right, there you go. There's your booking. 2027 Royal Rumble in Arizona.
Hell yeah.
All right, Primo boys. Time to get out of here, man. Thank you guys for listening, downloading, and subscribing. We had the OGs in the house tonight with Primo and myself. Thank you guys. Felt a little nostalgia tonight with just me and Primo here. So Dylan's going to be back with us for sure. So we want to thank you guys all for listening to us. Any old school listeners, new school listeners, we appreciate all you guys so much. Head on over to sitdownmarks.com, subscribe there, give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform. For Primo, the man, the Lucha Daddy on the East Coast, the host with the most from the old school right there.
Hell yeah.
I am DB. We'll talk to you guys next time on the Sit Down Marks podcast. Thank you guys so much. And keep spreading that good word of wrestling. We'll see you later.
Thank you.